once again, thank you very much for being here. As I was saying, I'm Luís Couto from GoParity. We are a crowdlending-based platform based in Portugal, and we have been doing crowdlending campaigns for sustainable impact since 2017. So 2017 was the year that we were founded. We were initially directed for renewable energy only projects, but in 2019 we realized that we had to broaden the scope of our activities, so we advanced for sustainable development goals based projects campaigns. We have been since then working in a range of sustainable projects that I will show you a little more ahead. In 2021, we gave our first international step. We are based in Portugal, but we can receive investments from non-resident Portuguese people, and we also can fund projects outside of Portugal. So we advance with projects based in other countries in the European Union. And for 2023, we have the intention to top up on our business model, not only the crowdlending factor, but also complementary financial services for our community of investors. Our business model is very simple. It's based on the crowdlending model, and we are connecting small retail investors and also companies with business that need funding to implement their sustainable projects. We work on the lending business model, so we are an investment type of crowdlending. The intention on our investors is obviously to lend the money and receive the lended money with a return on top of it. So you can see it as an alternative investment to the traditional ones that like savings, stocks, and other investment funds. And because we are on the sustainable business side, we try to bring sustainable projects or projects aligned with the sustainable development goals. Our main focus is for our community of investors to put their money where their mouth is. So we see this as an alternative finance model that might be, or that is being also very important to realize sustainable projects in our economy. And in terms of projects, we have been working on the scope of very relevant ones. We have been focused on renewable energy, also more recently energy efficiency. We also are working in Portugal in a relevant couple of projects in the blue economy, and we also have a relevant leg of the social economy or social institutions that need funding support to implement their sustainable projects. So our main beneficiaries have been SMEs, have been early stage entrepreneurs, and also social entities. Those are the typically entities that have more difficulty to access to the traditional funding ways or the traditional banking system, and that's the tackling that we are trying to bring to the market, to bring more funding, to bring alternative funding to good projects, but that sometimes don't have the right KPIs to access the traditional banking system. We have been, as I was saying, since 2017, funded more than 150 projects. We have been working on the blue economy, sustainable tourism, energy efficiency, renewable energy. Typically, these are the projects that we have funding so far. As I was saying, we are based in Portugal, and the majority of our projects are Portuguese-based, but we are already funding also projects outside of Portugal. Typically, we work with other European beneficiaries that are implementing projects in other European countries and sometimes outside also of the European Union. To give you an example or a couple of examples, we are funding German entities that are implementing solar energy projects in Uganda, in Kenya, a Swedish fund that also is being funded by GoParity that is implementing self-consumption solar energy in Colombia and in Brazil. So from Portugal, and with still a couple of years in activity, we have already been doing relevant impact, not only in Europe, but also outside of Europe. And we see these new models of alternative finance, namely the crowdlending, as a relevant and democratic way of giving voice and also return to the community. So we like to say that we are doing banking disintermediation. So we are connecting directly the savings and the investment in the economy, and you are the ones that decide where you want to put their money. You don't have anyone in between that is deciding for you. So that's the relevant and the beautiful aspect of this model. And obviously, we like also to show you our metrics. These are our investment metrics. We have already more than 20,000 investors registered in our platform. We have funded 150 projects that represented more than 12 million euros of investments. Of those, already 3 million euros have already been repaid. We are very focused on, in terms of investors, on the individuals, although we have also a small portion of companies that are investing in our projects, but we are very focused on the retail individuals investors. The access to the platform in terms of investment is very low. As low as €5, you can already start investing in a project at GoParity and have a return. And we have projects and investors all over the world. We have more than 63 countries that on the beneficiary or on the investment side are participating on the GoParity campaigns. And this is, our growth in terms of investment in the last 3 years. We were until 2020 growing, but slowly, and we had a very good 2021 year. Actually, it was just a pure coincidence. In 2020 and 2021, we had the COVID impact. We were concerned that might be something that be negative for our business model, but eventually it occurred the opposite. It was our best year, 2021. We grew more than 3 times what we have done in 2020, and we are in 2022 also with similar growth rates. And finally, obviously, we are on the investment side model, but we are also on the sustainability and on the support of sustainable investment projects, and the impact is very important. It's very important for us, obviously, but much more important for our community of investors, because they are the ones that are supporting and putting their money in the projects at our platform, and the impact is very relevant, and it's very relevant always to give a feedback and to show it. So for still so far, our projects, the implementation of our projects have represented or are represented the avoidance of more than 22,000 tons of CO2 per year. They are producing the equivalent of 7 megawatts of energy or clean energy per year. We have also more than 800 hectares of land that has been refurbished and supported through our projects. More than 4,000 jobs created in between the SMEs that we have supported. More than 60,000 people impacted, the majority of them in our social entities that are beneficiating from the GoParity project campaigns, and more than 80 communities that also have been being supported for the type of projects that we have been implementing.